students, today we are going to see another amazing game by the one and only Mikhail Tal. Mikhail Tal is black, so let me just flip the board. His opponent is Isaac Birbrager. So let's begin. Mikhail Tal won, of course, but what a game he played. D4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, and he does not go for the Benko gambit or the old Benoni. He goes for the modern Benoni with e6. And Mikhail Tal actually used this a lot when he played against d4. This was, I think, this was what he almost almost always played. So yeah, this is the position which is reached. H3 should have been played, and then B5 is very theoretical. But he plays short castle. For some reason, this is known as the New York variation. I don't know. Knight A6. So knight A6, there's knight D2. Now bishop G4 should have been played here because the knight, you really want to prevent the knight D2 maneuver. Uh, Now knight d2 is played, knight b4. The knight looks good here, but it does nothing. Um, Bishop to e2. If bishop to b1 would have been better, as this would have contained the knight move effectively and kept an eye on some possible kingside actions. So bishop e2 is played, and now rook to e8, a3, knight to a6 back. And after rook e1, and Tal goes knight c7, of course, for the main this maneuver b5. uh, Queen c2 is played, and now rook to b8 preparing b5, and now the move a4 is played, so it prevents b5. So Tal goes for b6 here. um, I think his idea is to play bishop a6, or to prevent a5 and prepare a6 b5. Knight b5. This maneuver really makes no sense. What is its purpose? I don't get it. Um, the exchange of the tempo and the exchange of the knights only benefit Tal. So a6 is played, and now takes. Knight a7. This is preferred by Tal, but it's an odd preference, as the after the line he gives in his annotations, black is better, like bishop b7, knight c6, takes, and there's d5, and this position is of course better for white, as the pawn is not in a comfortable position, to say the least. Knight takes c7 is played, and now queen takes c7. Rook to a2 is played with this move is quite strange also. Queen e7, of course, targeting this. And now f3. This turns out to be a massive error. The move accomplishes nothing and blocks the bishop on e2. Tal responds very powerfully, but b3 should have been played after knight takes e4. Bishop d3 is played, and white regains the pawn. And this is slightly better for black because of the, of course, back rank problems and the d5 pawn. Um, but still, f3 is bad because of the move knight to h5. When your opponent makes a move, ask yourself what they've left undefended, and try to exploit that. Well, in this case, it's the f4 square, and Tal exploits it really good. Um, by a really genius maneuver, he plays knight f1, of course, preventing knight f4. And what has he left? e4. Boom. Bishop d3. He does not want to open because he is attacking, and you do not want to open the center when you are attacking in most conditions. Boom. f4. Now Tal's idea is, of course, to just get the pieces rolling. G4 is played. Now Barbagar tries to reverse the course of the game, but responds by Tal responds aggressively and well. A lesser player might have lost the advantage, but Tal is no lesser. He plays the move bishop to d4 check. King to h1 is played. If king to g2, which is a mistake because of queen h4, and you can't take because of numerous threats of queen h3 check, and rook e2 is played, and after that bishop takes d4. What f takes d4, queen takes d4, and mate. So that's why king h1, queen h4, of course, boom. So rook e2, um, queen to h3 is played. Now this ends up being absolutely magnificent. But bishop takes d4 would have been better because f takes d4, f3, g takes h5, f takes c2, queen takes c2, and then this adds to spot move c4. Um, I think Tal missed this move. That's why he didn't see this, because now black is absolutely winning after bishop b1, rook f8, because there's just too many threats after rook f2. Rook g2 is played, and queen takes f3. Now knight d2 is played, and you will think that, wait, but isn't Tal just losing a piece? Well, he goes queen to e3, and white has to repeat because g takes h5 is followed by numerous bishop h3, and this position is bad to say the least for white, and this is just a hopeless position because queen e1 is threatened, bishop takes d2 is threatened, too many threats to deal with. Knight f1 is played, and now black repeats, and now he plays the one and only. Firstly, his opponent asks a draw, and now Tal thinks, and he plays the one and only bishop takes d4, no draw. Tal chooses to sacrifice his queen instead. Perfect example of a Tal sacrifice. There is not a clear idea to regain the material, but Tal's pieces are alive and crackling with energy, while White's pieces struggle to find meaning in the position. Objectively, maybe White can defend, but there's no clear reputation, and White collapses almost immediately. Now it may just look like, what did he do? What's his threat? But it's not that simple. Mm, what the heck just happened? Okay. Um, because what is black's threat? We have to think about it. If you let a move go down, will black play rook f5? Yes, he will, because then this is the threat you take. So this is rook e5 is the black threat. uh, h4 is played. Now this move gives the king room to run, and is aimed to respond to the, of course, the threat of rook e5, knight g3, and rook h5. However, rook e5 hasn't been played yet. Maybe the tempo could be better used. Well, bishop e2, of course, rook takes e4 is played, and you can take, boom. So h3, there's rook takes e4. This might look uh, absolutely uh, absolutely ridiculous, but it's not, because if you take, then this is a very funny draw here. Tal's literally down a queen, and this is a forced draw. uh, just crazy. And after b3, b3, I like this move because there's mobility on the second rank, and considering bishop to b2, there's rook h5 and then h4. uh, that's why here in this position, uh, b3 I think should have been played. Queen d2, if played, then there's rook e5, h4, takes, and even Stockfish thinks that black is doing fine now. Bishop d2 if played, thought this is white's best. But to me, b3 feels like a better version of this, because it also improves the rook to a2, and well, rook e1, there's just, yeah. And rook f8 is played here. Rook f8 with the, of course, the threat of knight g3 check. And now white plays the one and only move, bishop to e2. What a move. Well, this is just a tactical, tactical miss, tactical, not a great analysis. Tactically, he just blundered, to put it in simple language. White has a similar choice as he did on the last move, but under great pressure, he concedes the winning endgame, becoming the first of many victims to a famous Sal Queen sacrifice. Now he checks, and now can you find the winning procedure here? Well, I hope you read because it's simple. You just take the rook, and if he takes, then you just take. And if white doesn't do anything, well, there's f3 check, and then there's f2, and then there's queen. And if white takes, then this is just absolutely losing because even if the rook is gone, black is still a pawn up, and black will be more than a pawn up because now bishop e5 check, and now bishop to f4, and rook f4 is coming before or after trading on c1 wins another pawn and the game. Well, that was a very good game by Mikhail Tal, to say the least. He played extremely well during the whole game, and I think what we can learn is that sometimes the sacrifices can be played when you think that your opponent is struggling. Like the engine says it's not that bad, but it's really not that simple to defend this position. So yeah, that's the game. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon. Thank you.